It's really hard for people to understand what it's like to have a baby or a child in the hospital. I think that's the one thing that I hear the most, is nobody gets it.
My first experience with the Ronald McDonald House was over 20 years ago. My husband and I had a premature baby. When he was in the hospital in Kansas City, he was very sick. That's why he got transferred there. And so there were, like many people's stories, some touch and go moments.
When Matthew was born, he had 5 tumors on his back. And so when he was 5 days old, he had his first surgery. Then when he went into high school, his spine started to deteriorate.
We met Levi through the fostering program here in Missouri, and we were able to adopt him 18 months later. We met him when he was almost 3 years old. Levi was born at 24 and a half weeks, and he was 1 pound 4 ounces, and with that came quite a few medical diagnoses. He's had to overcome quite a few things in his little life, but he's a fighter.
He had open heart surgery at 13 when he was 13 days old. And it was pretty touch and go. When you're worried about whether or not your children are going to live and make it to the next day. And there's so much that it just occupies every part of your mind and your heart.
And you cannot imagine the emotional stress that you're in until that you're standing there with your child fighting for them. You just have no idea the pressure that these families are under until you've walked it.
At the Ronald McDonald House, we're able to provide that much needed lodging when they're traveling from far away to seek medical treatment for their child.
Just the simple basic needs that we're able to provide is just truly unique and special.
My parents, Doug and Lynn Maley, and my aunt and uncle, Leonard and Mary Sue Shuffler, were very involved in getting the new house started here in Columbia in the early 80s.
From the very beginning, the Ronald McDonald House was established so that families wouldn't have to spend the night in the lobby, or wouldn't have to stay the night in their car, or wouldn't have to spend their money on a hotel room.
If we hadn't had the Ronald McDonald House here in town, I just don't know that our family could have managed to bring him. We come for 4 weeks at a time, and door to door, it's a 2-hour drive.
So when the hospital moved back in 2010, we moved along with it and built the house on Lansing Avenue. And then in 2020, the hospital announced that they were moving back to the main medical campus. And we felt as a board and as staff that it was really critical that families be close to their hospitalized child.
And I think, as we spend time with families and we see that closeness is more than we can describe. And the ability to know that within seconds or a really short time that a father or mother can be back near their child's bedside. If a medical professional needs to meet with them quickly, to know that there's just no barrier for them to be there. We want to be able to help every family that's in that situation.
People don't realize that a lot of our families are not just here for a couple of nights. We have families that can be with us up to a year.
Our home becomes their home for as long as they need it. If their child is in the hospital for 1 day or 2 weeks or 6 months, we're here for them, and we provide that service at no cost to them.
The Ronald McDonald House really stepped in, and it gave me the opportunity to do my therapy down at Fraser in Louisville. The most beneficial part about staying there for me was just, I think, how stress-free it was on me, because I think I just had a lot going on in my brain during that time, and just having a place to stay and nothing to worry about on that part was just probably the most beneficial part for me.
When a family is in medical crisis with their child, it impacts the entire family. It's not just the child who suffers, it's mom, dad, extended family, siblings. We at the Ronald McDonald House want to make sure that we can provide the care and comfort that they need so that they have the energy to provide the care that their child needs.
And I think, more than the financial, that was the best thing that Ronald McDonald House gave to me, that I was not alone in my journey. And then I had somebody I could share my problems with who understood exactly where I was coming from. And that was such a blessing.
We have really benefited greatly from having the Ronald McDonald House. Levi would not have been able to overcome even a portion of the obstacles that he has just because of us having the opportunity to stay here.
The first thing that comes to my mind is just the proximity and the ability to allow families who are going through a really tough time to be close to their child, close to the medical team that's taking care of their child, and really to allow them to reduce so much of the stress involved with that situation, and really focus in on what's important, and that's their child or their family.
And every situation is different, but you're surrounded with people that get it and are doing the same thing that you are. And to see the bonds that are formed in the house are just truly special between the families that keep going outside after they get discharged and go home.
The only way we can support families who have a child in medical crisis is with your support, is with your donation.
I think people should donate to the Ronald McDonald House just because of the families that really need it. The families like me, or even the families that could possibly need it more than me. You never know what somebody else is going through.
When the people who receive your gift never know who that gift came from, but you know that you have helped a stranger, and there is no greater feeling. It warms your heart and it lifts your soul. And it just feels so darn good.
The Ronald McDonald House Charity is such a great charity, and it's local. So please, whatever you can do, whatever amount you're comfortable with, remember you're not just helping the house, you're helping the kids and their families when they need it the most.
People should raise their paddle and give to Ronald McDonald House, because like my personal story, you never know when it's going to be you, when it's going to be someone that's close to you that you know or care about, and you often don't know that there's a need until you find yourself in that situation.
So I ask you this evening, raise your paddle and donate, not just to the Ronald McDonald House, but to the families that we serve, to the children who are in the hospital, to those who may be recovering, and to those who are struggling to hang on.